And we are following breaking news across the area after a round of storms this evening left behind a trail of damage and injuring several people. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Kelly.
I'm Donna Terrell. Several counties were under tornado warnings earlier this evening. We have team coverage tonight from Jefferson County, which is one of the hardest hit areas tonight. Fox 16's Rochelle Turner and Tyler Thomason will be joining us live in just a few minutes.
But first, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baskin to get the very latest on the conditions. Jeff?
Well, good news, Kevin and Donna, as we get a little bit of a break during the evening hours.
Authorities confirm multiple injuries after a roof was ripped off an apartment complex in Pine Bluff. Let's head out to Fox 16's Rochelle Turner, who's joining us live from 7th and Idaho Streets in Pine Bluff with the latest on this. Rochelle.
Well, Donna, Kevin, good evening to you. A lot to unfold here tonight in Pine Bluff. I'm going to get straight to it. Take a look behind me. What you're seeing right now is the Miranda Place Apartments on East 7th Street. Just take a look. You can see directly in front, right through this apartment complex. Now, at last check, when I spoke to officials who were out here just trying to unfold what was going on, trying to gather more information, an official with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department told me that 4 people were taken to the hospital here in Jefferson County. If you take a look over here, take a look at some of this damage. What you're looking at right now is a wall that was completely ripped off its foundation here at one of the complexes. Take a look over here. You can see pieces of the ceiling just hanging off. And if you take a look on the roof, guys, that is actually an AC unit that is on top of the roof. Now, earlier this afternoon, this entire area that you're seeing right here in front of us was just filled with so many emergency management officials. Take a look right here. If you could see this police tape, this is everywhere across this entire apartment complex. We were on the other side down here. If you look way down there where you see the flashing lights, we were actually on the other side of that street. They still have parts of that street blocked off. Earlier today, if you take a look at this electrical complex that is right here, there was actually several branches on that complex, and anytime wind came through, energy officials said it would cause a spark. So if you were with us on Facebook Live, you may have seen some of those, what they call explosions. So there's a lot going on here tonight. A lot of people displaced from these apartments here on East 7th Street. We did talk to some people earlier today who told me that it happened so fast, they didn't know what happened until they actually came outside. Just take a listen.
I just heard a loud noise, I guess about 2 o'clock, coming through, and saw a lot of debris flying past the window. So I just went and got in the closet. It was over with in less than 30 seconds. It was over.
Was it scary?
Not really. It happened so fast. So one time to get scared.
I'm shocked that something like this happened.
You shocked?
I didn't have tornadoes in Pine Bluff. I didn't know. I'd never been involved in one before.
So, guys, that last woman that we spoke to, she was able to get her medication out of one of the apartments complex. But just take a look at some of this damage. Take a look at these trees that were just split off from some of this storm damage. You could just look at this. This is actually one of pieces of the tree. It's too heavy for me to pick up, but there's multiple branches out here from this storm damage, guys. And if you take a look, Goose, take a look over here. You can actually see some of the damage that is actually on top of some of these cars at this apartment complex. A lot still going on here tonight as we are still trying to gather some more information. What I can tell you is that everyone who did not have a place to go has been taken to the convention center here in Pine Bluff, where they are going to be able to have food and a warm place to stay tonight. But we're still gathering a lot more information, and we will be sure to keep you updated as we learn the very latest, guys. For now, reporting live in Pine Bluff, I'm Rochelle Turner, Fox 16 News. Back to you.
Hey, Rochelle, you may not have the answer to this question, but you said 4 people were taken to Jefferson Regional Medical Center. Do we know the extent of their injuries? I don't think she can hear us. I don't think she can hear us, but I was just wondering the extent of the 4 people who were hurt in that storm. Hopefully it wasn't too too bad.
Yeah. Well, those displaced by the severe storms that struck in Pine Bluff getting much needed shelter and help at this hour. Fox 16's Tyler Thomason joining us live from the Pine Bluff Convention Center, where people are being taken care of there. Tyler, what's the situation there at this hour? We're taking another look at the devastation that was done at that apartment complex that Rochelle Turner was just at. As she mentioned, 4 people were injured, and it looked like it just, whatever it hit that particular apartment complex, it looked like it just came barreling through and just sheared off a portion of that apartment complex. We're not exactly sure as to how many units were damaged and if there was other damage to possibly nearby buildings and nearby places. Obviously, it was a very intense scene because this really just spun up quickly and hit hard. But obviously, emergency crews responded as quickly as they could. It's our understanding that a lot of the people got into the Pine Bluff Transit bus, Donna, and were then taken to the convention center, where I'm told they're currently being treated, taken care of, given nice food and warmth. But the good news is, as you well know, Donna, is so far no injuries or, well, serious injuries or deaths that we know of.
We don't know the extent of the 4 people who were hurt at the Miranda Apartments, but we did talk with someone. We want you to take a listen, hear what they had to say.
It was a last-minute notice. We had no preparation at all, and just hit us like just a millisecond, and there was no prep for it. So there's a lot of people that are homeless tonight, and a lot of people that are going hungry. So thank God for FEMA and Red Cross, everybody that's pulling together.
Well, I will tell you, a lot of people are homeless tonight, but they're at the convention center, and they're not going hungry, from what we understand. According to Rochelle, they're actually getting some food there, but they will have a place to stay tonight. That is the good news. We're not sure, we're not clear how many people were sent there. We do know, as we have already said, 4 people were injured, and they were taken to the hospital. Your photos started coming into the Fox 16 newsroom as soon as that storm hit Pine Bluff.
Yeah, Fox 16's Mitch McCoy monitoring our social media platforms tonight. Mitch, certainly a lot to circulate and to look at, but what has caught your attention so far as you go through the various social media sites?
Well, yeah, Kevin and Donna, good evening to you both. Viewers are sending us their storm photos from Pine Bluff on our Fox 16 Facebook page and on Twitter. Some of these photos we're about to show you were sent to us before the sun went down, which is really giving us a unique perspective to the damage in Pine Bluff tonight. Let's go ahead and take some of these iPad photos here if we can. Some of these photos showing significant damage to the actual apartment itself. And as you're looking at some of these photos here, you can see the trees toppled over, and you can see right there the ladder in front, including the significant damage to the top of that building there. Of course, the roof taken completely off of that apartment building there, and some windows knocked out as well. If we go ahead and take the Max 2, you're going to be able to see on some of these photos coming into our newsroom right now of some flooding issues, and you can even begin to see some of the flooding from across central Arkansas, and some even photos of some of the darker clouds coming into the area as this storm was rolling through. But Kevin and Donna, as I go through and monitor some of our social media platforms, it's important to reiterate something that one of our colleagues, Susan L. Corey, she's the reporter that covers Pine Bluff. She's reporting that the injuries down there right now range from minor to serious. We'll send it back to you.
Okay, that answers that question. All right, thank you so much for that. In other parts of central Arkansas, the rain was not severe, but it certainly is laying the groundwork for potential problems. I think you know what we're talking about. That will be for days to come.
Now, Fox 16's Rebecca Jeffrey live in Little Rock with a closer look at how these soggy conditions could impact us over the next several hours, if not days. Rebecca.
Right.
Yeah, Kevin and Donna, well, even in the parts of central Arkansas that didn't see that severe rain or the severe weather issues that we've seen in other parts, we are still having some problems that may become bigger issues in the coming days, since the ground will likely not be able to take or handle much more. So we headed over to some areas that are notorious for flooding. One is at Jacksonville-Cato near the Sylvan Hills freshman campus. Though school did let out early, the drainage system around that school appeared to be working very well, but standing water was still very easy to find in the Gravel Ridge area nearby. We found a parking lot that had accumulated several inches of water. And finally, Valentine Road over in the Dick Jeter community in Pulaski County was watching the water rise there as they normally do. And with the ground not getting any chance to dry out, these puddles could turn into ponds in the coming days.
The drainage is allowing it to come to the house instead of away from the house. But the rain is always one issue that stays. It always stays.
Now, since the ground is so saturated, it likely can't soak up much more rain, which of course causes flooding. Remember, 6 inches of standing water can damage even your car. So as always, we say, turn around, don't drown. Now, many parts of central Arkansas remain under a flash flood warning until about 9:15 tonight, and it will likely expire. I'll let Jeff tell you more about that. But we are under a flash flood watch until tomorrow. So as always, with more rain in the forecast and with flooding likely, and that we will see some, of course, stay weather aware. Live in downtown Little Rock, I'm Rebecca Jeffrey for Fox 16 News. Back to you.
All right, Rebecca, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Several schools in central Arkansas prepared ahead of time as they knew this weather event was coming in. So some school districts actually sent students home early from school. Before the rain moved in, Pulaski County Special School District, along with Lone Oak Public Schools, made the call to release students early.
And a reminder, the Arkansas Storm Team will be on standby throughout the night to bring you the latest weather updates. They will be ready to activate at a moment's notice to keep you and your loved ones safe. Time now for a quick break, but our weather coverage continues in just a few minutes.
We want to head back to Fox 16's Tyler Thomason, who's joining us live in Pine Bluff. He's at the convention center where a lot of people are there being taken care of.
And Tyler, we understand you spoke with Mayor Shirley Washington tonight. What did she have to say?
Kevin and Donna, good evening. Yeah, well, Shirley Washington is right here with me right now. She's going to step in and speak to us. We are at the Pine Bluff Convention Center. As you mentioned, about 50 or so people are inside getting shelter. First off, Mayor Washington, I just want to say thanks for joining us. And what goes through your mind when you hear something like this happening in your city?
You know, the first thing you do is panic, but then when you go to the scene and you see the outpouring of support, you don't realize how strong your community is until there's a time of tragedy. So the city, our first responders were there, the Salvation Army, the Red Cross, the city of Whitehall, the citizens, churches, and community members were all there to support in any way they could. Our transit department got busy and transported those people to the convention center where families, friends picked up many of them, and then the others are being housed in our convention center now. We're carrying some back over to their apartments for medications and things that they needed for emergency services, but we feel like we are embraced by love, support, and our prayers are with those families who are affected by this horrible incident.
Where do you go next from here? Obviously, the shelter is open throughout tonight, I assume. What happens and what's the next step going forward for this city?
The shelter is open throughout the night, and then tomorrow we'll be working with other agencies to find permanent housing for the people who have been affected.
When the storm came through, can you describe those moments? I know it was stronger in that area where the apartment complex was, but when the storm came through, from talking to people, what are people saying about it, and what did you experience yourself?
What I experienced, I had just made it home, and what I experienced was just sheets of rain coming down, and my husband and I was at the table looking out. Then shortly after, I got a call saying a tornado had hit in the Broadmoor area. What people in the convention center are telling me One man said that he was in his bedroom and he just heard this loud noise coming through, and before he knew it, his window was blown out in his bedroom and his living room. And then another man said he just heard this whoop, whoop, whoop sound, and he jumped up and ran to his bathroom for coverage. So I think it happened so quickly, you know, that people were hardly could believe, because usually Pine Bluff has been passed over. We just haven't had this kind of tragedy to really hit us to this level in the past.
Last question for you. Any message for people out there that have been affected by this? Anything that you want to say to them?
We want them to know that we're going to give them the support and for as long as they might need it. So they're to understand and to know that they're not alone. We're going to walk through this with them as we rebuild our community.
All right, Mayor, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
We continue to follow breaking news out of Pine Bluff tonight, where authorities confirm several people have been injured as a result of severe storms that passed through the area.
Fox 16's Rochelle Turner, she joins us live from 7th and Idaho Streets with another update on what's going on there. Rochelle.
Donna, Kevin, good evening to you. I have new information at this hour. An official with the Pine Bluff Police Department tell me there's between 50 and 75 people here at the Miranda apartment complexes that were affected, and there were 4 people taken to the hospital. Some of those injuries are minor to serious, but take a look at some of this damage at the Miranda Place apartments. This is one of the hardest hit places, and as you can see right here in front of you guys, you can see right through this apartment complex. We've been seeing multiple officers in just the last 10 minutes helping some people get some of their belongings out of this unit. As you can see, guys, I'm going to take a walk with you. Right here, there's police tape all across this apartment complex. If you look down this street, we were actually on the other side of that street earlier today, and they have this entire complex blocked off. And if you take a look over here, we're going to walk back over here where this is a brick wall that actually fell. That was standing right here. This brick wall was standing right here, and it just completely just fell over. And then as we pan up, take a look, guys. Those are actually AC units that are on top of this apartment complex. This is also part of the Miranda Place apartments, but a lot to unfold here tonight. There's a lot going on. Lots of emergency management officials here just trying to gather more information themselves and just figure out exactly what happened. It's very, very strong winds. We were talking to some people today who were displaced. Take a listen at what this man says he heard when all this went down around 6 o'clock this afternoon.
I was laying on the couch and it just got intensely quiet. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And I opened the door and it just came through. I saw all the debris and stuff going around. And as soon as it was done, I ran outside, started checking on people. Ran around the corner and saw that building collapse and just started asking if everyone was okay. Checked all these buildings, and there's a lot of damage done, and it happened just like that.
How scary was it?
Well, I did a tour in Iraq, so not too much beats that. So it was intense. It was comparable. It was highly comparable. So yeah, everyone is okay. Just happy to see everyone make it out okay. No deaths or anything like that.
Now, again tonight, Pine Bluff officials telling me that 4 people were taken to the hospital. Some of those injuries are minor to serious, and 50 to 75 people here at the Miranda Place apartments were affected by this storm. Take a look at this tree. What you're looking at is a tree that was completely split in half. You can see some of the damage, and take a look at this, guys. I actually just stepped into some mud. Take a look at how deep it is. Like, my foot is actually stuck in the ground, but you could just see what happened here tonight in Pine Bluff. As that man mentioned, it just all happened so fast. My photographer and I were actually in Pine Bluff, and then we were headed back to Little Rock and came back because the storms were starting to pick up. Officials also tell me, if you could pan over here, that there's another apartment complex that actually had some damage, but we're still trying to work out some of that information and learn more tonight. But as we take a walk over here, I just want to show you guys just some of the aftermath from this storm. If you look over here, you can see there's some debris on top of the cars. And if you look right there where some of the apartment railing is falling off, an official with the Pine Bluff Police Department tell me that there was a gentleman who was trapped in his apartment and he had to be removed out of the complex. Again, 4 people taken to the Jefferson County Hospital. Some minor injuries, some are more serious, but we will be sure to keep you updated as we learn more information tonight.